Hello, welcome to about 5 minutes straight of me complaining about how much better Windows 10 is compared to Windows 11. No, it'll be Monster Hunter. But I have just recently switched from a computer that uses 11 to 10. I don't mean like I upgraded or downgraded or something like that. I mean, I literally just was using one computer and now I'm using a different computer as of a few minutes ago. And just the instantaneous difference in how things are laid out, the taskbar, how the sound is placed, like where you can deal with your different audio devices and how to change them, and just like the ease of access for everything. Windows 11 feels like it's created for a tablet, even if you're using it with keyboard and mouse. And as a result, there's a lot of like simplicities if you're touching something, don't have multiple ways of doing something, and just a barrage of annoyances if you do actually have a proper setup. So going back and forth every time I boot up my Windows 10 like main computer and I had to work on a Windows 11 computer, it's just like returning to the promised land. But in regards to this newfound land, I guess, we have to actually hunt some stuff. So let's see, what do we have? I don't know what the important quests are right now. There's so many things here that it kind of feels, well, it's tough to say. Like a lot of options, there's probably a fair amount of things that are essential, so I might just start working through things depending on what might be interesting. I would like to go to the Tundra, because the high rank Tundra gives like Gracium or whatever it's called, and that's the high rank ore that I need to continue upgrading my steel greatsword. Right now, this one that was made with Acadius is fine. It is pretty strong, but I would like to continue upgrading that other line of weaponry as well. Yeah, I'll do the most basic of warm-ups. We'll do this Hunt 10 Jagia. Now, last time around, I was trying to get some village quests done and upgrade some things. So I'm going to poke back around. Maybe that is even what I can do too. But that's kind of just running around fighting the same things. And while it is important, it's not the most important type of progress. Maybe I'll do a 1-1. Do an actual high rank quest and then go hunt some stuff in Moga Woods. I'm definitely down for the catharsis of some monster hunting right now. It's always, sometimes, you're supposed to channel real world frustrations into your art. And that's good, and that's being constructive with your feelings, which I think is like 50% of the puzzle. But I do think humans inherently have destructive, negative urges. And if, all of human history is anything to go off of, trying to repress that is just like trying to cork a volcano. It tends to blow up. So the name of the game is having positive, constructive responses to feelings, but also having positive, destructive feelings. Am I getting another... Usually I don't talk over cutscenes, but I feel like I've seen this one before. Oh, no, I haven't. That's hilarious. Not good, not good. In fact, this is like the worst case scenario. Any idea what we should do, Hunter? I know that big brute. It's the Devil J? No, the Devil Low? I'm really drawing a blank here. Anyway, everything's a feast for that beast. It's got a bottomless belly. Get in its way and bam, you're an appetizer. Only a lunatic would hunt that thing. Your targets for this quest were just Jagia, so back off and stick to the plan. Oh, Devilho. That's what that monster is called. But who cares? Run, flee. So, if we're talking about, like, negative destructive habits. De Vilho is a whole bundle of lum wrapped up into one pickle-shaped dinosaur. He's not great, but he's also not the end of the world. He just, like, hits a little hard. But if you're not in the way of him hitting hard, then you're fine. So I will, kill the things I need to kill for my quest, and now just leave. Very anticlimactic. Actually, in a way, I kind of feel like that's why my personality is a little bit of the antithesis of what gets views on YouTube, or really any sort of platform. You know, like, I have seen other things that the algorithm has suggested to me about these games, and it'd always be like some overwrought, big-faced reaction, like, oh my god, this game is so hard, and, you know, I went back and played this, and I died, and all of my ancestry got diabetes. And it's just like, I get it that being super dramatic gets attention, and I don't have a personality that's really capable of doing that. Like, I react very, very appropriately, even if I get upset or panic. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but if, like, something's minor, I will have a minor reaction relatively, and if something's a crisis, I will have a crisis reaction. But I usually don't stub my toe and then, like, sell half of my possessions and cut my hair and change my lifestyle or something. At least I hope I don't. Jeez. And as a result, like, I'm just kind of, like, chatting about stuff, playing a game, and showing it off. So, like, I could imagine someone who's far more reactive being like, oh my god, I just got invaded, this giant monster, it's gonna kill me. But in all reality, if you've played the game, it's just like, yeah, and if you just walk left at a slightly leisurely pace, you can leave it alone. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So, I wonder if it'll be like comics, you know, like, the audiences change as the people who read them when they were younger kind of age up, so you can, like, read a hero in one era and then you read a hero in a different era, and you'll be like, why is this character so dramatically different if they're supposed to be the same? And it's because, like, it aged with the people who are enjoying the content. That's usually, like, a lot of the people that I will watch a let's play of. Like, if I think of a game, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, it'd be fun to watch someone poke through that. You might listen to a few people. And I'm definitely going for folks who have a, I guess, for lacking of a more apt term, like a mature outlook on sharing a game that they care about. Like, even back in the day, I liked blind runs, but I liked blind runs before it was all about just, like, finding a jump scare to crap your pants on camera with, compared to, you know, seeing how somebody approaches maybe a unique puzzle. Like, I watched a lot of blind let's plays for Silent Hill, all of the different types of game, you know, 1 through 4 and different things, and it was just fun to see, you know, the same puzzle, having after probably bashed my own head against the solution, and then seeing how does somebody potentially come upon their way of fixing it. Because sometimes there's a bunch of different ways, or, like, we all use different logic. Like, I'm not a very numerical thinker. I'm very linguistic in how I approach everything. Like, my brain is mostly just lines and lines and lines and paragraphs and stuff. And I know some people with more engineer brains think kind of mathematically. I know one person who, after years spent in finance, thinks largely in Excel sheets. Like, it's different for everyone. No, hey, I also won. And derailed myself because kind of forgot. Oh well. Oh yeah, anyways, I I pick up solutions to problems definitely in a different way. Like, I'm horrible at math problems. I was, you know, working through Alan Wake 2 a little while ago, and some of the puzzles, I just, like, immediately, I saw what they were looking for, I saw what the solutions could be, and I was like, yep, that's a Google for me, because it's not even fun. It just feels like doing 4th grade homework, or, you know, 12th grade I don't know. I don't know what I stopped doing math. I don't know how to grade it, but it's not my thing. But if you give me like a word puzzle or some sort of like Resident Evil visual allegory, like you have to read a story and then put things in the right order depending on what, like, that's more fun for me. But if I just have to like do math, no. Then again, there are tons of people who were more mathematical and seeing them solve like a creative problem and not get like overly frustrated with it, just like be willing to go through the process of not knowing and then figuring out. That was much more enjoyable to me in a presenter compared to folks who like do an excessive amount of jump cuts and yelling about it. Okay. Well, that was that quest completed. I have some room in my inventory, so we will go fight some stuff. I feel like right now, because I don't have too many high rank requests, coming into the day version of Mocha Woods with my high rank gear is actually the way to go. Because like you can get maybe 400 something points with a single hunt, but it takes no time at all, so unless the high rank monsters give like 5k or something, I imagine 400 in a minute is better than 1200 in 30-40 minutes. I'm not much of a mathematical thinker, but I still think those numbers check out. It'd be great if they didn't, though, because I kind of would love to back up my own statement that I'm not good at it. Like, I know some people feel an obligation to be overly right about stuff, and I've kind of abandoned that. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? If I'm wrong, that's great. Tell me what I'm wrong about, and then I'm right about it. Perfect. Like, I have very little of my pride attached to these things anymore, and I've generally found that I live better as a result of it. I definitely was somebody who forcibly put my own intelligence on a pedestal for no good reason, and didn't react well when that took a knock. And again, like, for what reason? It's not like I was bored in Oxford or something like that. I was just a dude who maybe read a little bit better than some of my peers and then decided to be a dick about it. Like, that's not really true intelligence, and learning that lesson and being willing to be humble about your own shortcomings, it ultimately makes you the person you wanted to be when you were too busy being all like annoying about it. But then again, I guess that's just growing up where you hope it is, because then you meet folks who haven't done that and they're 50 and they're acting like they're 15, and it's just like, no, it doesn't matter what Bill said, you're both grown adults, just stop. Or geez, if you watch reality television shows, which I think everyone actually should, it's important to take care of a few of your brain cells so you don't have too many running around. Like, you want to free range those. So it's important to watch a show like Love is Blind. Just to see what the rest of the world is doing, what they call living. It's such a weird thing too, because the show is really designed well. Like, there's nothing about something like that isn't intentional. Even the comparison of like, oh, look at this person's house, it's so clean and so big, fuck them, how did they get that house? And then you're like, oh, but they're a mess. Oh no, I feel I'm okay with this now because they can't sustain emotional relationships. And it's like this whole emotional journey that you're supposed to go on as the watcher. And it's good to see. Even if you're a creative person, I feel like sometimes writers and actors, anyone who wants to take art seriously dismisses these things. And I understand why they want to, out of hand, but it would be like kind of saying like, oh, I don't like that part of history, so I'm gonna not believe in it. We can't ignore things that are uncomfortable, or maybe distasteful, or maybe outright meaningless, even if they exist. It's just part of human nature. So I think it's important to see what that stuff is about and see how everyone else reacts, even if it's just a means of seeing how you don't react or provoking a conversation about it. Most of our From what I understand of like the way that the brain works, a lot of our habits and our choices are also based on things that we've already kind of discussed with ourselves. So like, you know, you don't drive your car off the cliff even though your brain is thinking about it, because you've probably had the thought before getting in the car, hey, I am trying to drive well, drive in these lines, obey traffic laws, instead of careen into the brick wall like the Call of the Void is asking me to. And because you have that in your brain, you can go, okay, don't do it. It's kind of like if you do any coding, you have to set a variable before you can turn it off. You know, you can't turn something that doesn't exist on or off. You have to first define this thing. And largely, what I understand of the brain is the same exact way. So if you're watching a reality TV show and you see maybe somebody acting in a way that you don't like, now at least your brain can go, I've seen how somebody else reacts in this situation. If that happens to me, I'm going to choose to not do X, compared to having to make up on the fly how you're going to, you know, react or work in a situation. Much less fun. Very few people do it well. I often, even myself, I describe talking to me in a meeting or a call, or largely in real life, as like getting the movie version of an all-right book. There's a lot of stuff that gets missed, and it's a little bit like, you know, there's chapters that probably should have been there, and they try and make some points really quickly when they probably should have been paced out a little bit faster. And that's largely the Josh in real life experience. But when you can text me, much more well-paced. Or if I get to write a 20-chapter book. But you can't respond to every single person with a 20-chapter book. It would be great if we were like immortals and we had these like elven lives that allowed us to do stuff like that. But as of right now, no. Although I'm openly a little bit pretentious, and I would love to do something like that. Like, not even like a harmful way, but like, you know, 1,000 years old, looking back, give to my own mother, like, here is the 100-chapter book, thoughts on my childhood, and like have that be received and like have a chat about it. Like, you know, chapter 37 was really, really, really interesting, you know, and like just have that very retrospective look back. I don't think that's how we're programmed to work right now, but it'd be funny to me. Or really like have a long span of time and then go back to your teachers in high school and be like, ha, here is some empirical evidence that you were being pretty mean to 16-year-old me, or whatever it is. That was I don't know. I don't connect with people as much as I wish I did. So a lot of the teachers that I really liked looking back were the ones who respected my autonomy. Like, they didn't try to be a big personality. They didn't overly try and like do anything for me. They just kind of set me up for success and then gave me the space to work my way there. Those are the teachers that, like, when I look back, I really appreciate. But then there was some, you know, too many people who tried to like stand and deliver. And for me, just how I respond to things, it's like, yeah, no thank you. Very much. I didn't even talk about it earlier today. But that type of thing, just with the way that my brain works, people start sounding like Charlie Brown parents. And I've even experienced this way, way, way back in the day. Like, I have all the paperwork. So as far as I can tell, I passed high school and graduated. I crossed the stage. I have a book that's, you know, like some crappy fake leather that says I did. But it still feels like I didn't, because I largely just didn't show up, went for tests, and then left. And it's because I just couldn't stand sitting there having to listen to somebody be like, and then on page 17, you can look at figure 2, and you can see that. And it's just like, that was all. It couldn't even, it was all horrible to me. And I didn't find any presentator style help. So I definitely like just being given the textbook and then a quiet corner. A+ teacher. Okay. Cha-Cha has something going on about his mask, so great. Yep, looks good. Hey, Kiamba, do you have some stuff that I can send to the box too? Lovely. Okay. Villager requests. Wait, no, I want to do this. Great. Yeah, so 450 is not too bad. And then I get a lot more of these things. But for real, is there anything I actually want right now? Let's see. Better bread. I think I do use bread right now, so that's not a horrible thing, but that is a high rank request. Yeah, if I could get some catalysts, I feel like... Can I buy catalyst outright? Let's just go check really quick. Yeah, it might not be here right now, but I feel like I've seen it in her stock that rotates. And it's funny too, I had like a thought that, oh, I should buy some of that. And then I didn't, because I'm a fool. Oh well. No point getting beat up about it. Because, like, improving the farm overall would probably not be too bad. Might as well, actually, because I don't really recall all too well how the farm works in this game, production-wise. Obviously, I can check in. Looks like there is some honey coming in. Yeah, I wonder if, I mean, I guess once you have everything, it's pretty easy, but is there like a sweet ticket item that I can convert? Yeah. Getting those things are pretty good. Oh well. Back to some more high rank stuff. But it'd be cool to get rank 3 bread alongside rank 3 vegetable. Just to up the health I get. I generally find like if I can take a hit, I'll compensate by hitting back harder when it comes to attack bonuses and stuff like that. And well, defense bonuses are nice. I'm a little bit of a purist when it comes to that type of thing, whereas if I can't do it in the armor that I'm wearing, that suggests to me that I should get better armor compared to like buffing whatever it is that I'm wearing. I always like to approach these quests kind of like a bowl of chips. Like, I like to eat the smallest one, then go to the biggest one. Sometimes it's tough to say what is for the best. Bully the Bullfango. I mean, who doesn't want to do that if you play any amount of Monster Hunter? I would never... Ooh, how much inventory space do I have? Ah, it's fine. I would never say that anyone should ever hurt an animal. And, you know, if you are going to, do it in a virtual space like a video game. But, Bullfango, damn. They're pretty aggravating. And they always have been. They've been around forever. I see them in my nightmares. That's just the experience. Is this a different jungle? I can't see the map right now, but I feel like maybe I'm just going crazy. Oh no, this is just the I'm not used to seeing it in all high def. That's what it is. Because like third portable looks really, really good for a PSP game, but this being a Wii U game, there are just a few improvements. Although largely I would say like the PlayStation portable version of this map is more impressive. This is more beautiful, don't get me wrong, but what they were able to do on the PSP to make it look as close to this as it does, you know, considerations and or optimizations considered and stuff like that, because I did upscale the game and stuff, but even then upscale to upscale, the PSP is like an ant lifting a 100-pound dumbbell set, and this is like a 10-year-old doing it. Like, both are impressive. I'm not, you know, I'm very, very impressive for everyone involved. But the ant is still, that's doing more lifting, right? So the PSP, a little more impressive. As far as I'm aware, too, it's kind of making a comeback. Or the games kind of are, because I remember the guy who did the PPSSPP, which is a phenomenal PSP emulator that just kind of runs impossibly well. That same guy, same developer, as far as I'm aware, has brought over that emulator to the PlayStation Portal, which is like a very new device that only streamed to the PS5, to and from the PS5. But now it apparently can locally run PSP games. And because they ran on what is nowadays like a quarter of a smartphone CPU, it can run on more or less anything that's modern. So I guess it was running really, really well. Kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, I was just reading something recently as well. It had to do with Dragon's Dogma 2, which is coming out very soon, produced by Capcom, same as this game. And it looks awesome. I'm excited to play it. Some people were lamenting that it doesn't have a performance mode, which I would like myself and hope they patch in. I guess it runs uncapped, so it'll just try and get the highest FPS it can in any situation, compared to trying to hit a set goal. But I was reading comments about it, and it's funny how much misunderstanding about the software industry there is among people who are like professing to know about it. And it kind of reminds me of there's this comic, and I think it was XKCD, and it was like this team of researchers and software engineers, and they're presented this brief by like a CEO, and the CEO first asks, I need you to set up a piece of software that looks through all of these cameras and tells me when a bird has landed. And then everyone on the team and all the research editors and engineers are like, oh, absolutely, easy, no time, that'll be fine. No issues or concerns whatsoever. And he's like, perfect, okay. Next, I need you to tell me what type of bird it is that you see in the video. And then everyone on the team goes really silent, and one person speaks up, and they're like, we need 10 years and $1 million in research grants. And the CEO is obviously very confused and taken back. But it goes to show, like, some things you maybe think are simple aren't, and things that you think should be, or you think they will be complex aren't. Some things you think will be simple are very complex. Like that sentence. And things like, for example, let's look at like a character limit on a sentence or a name or something like that. That's probably literally just a hard-coded limit set on a single string of code somewhere in that section of things. But you could have really, really complex things like, you know, lighting something, putting a light on top of something, and then having the light appear below it. Seems simple. It's just installing a light bulb, but it actually requires a lot more calculations. It has to determine the distance between this location, the other one, how bright is this thing, how much is the spread, what is a bright zone, what's a dim zone, how does it handle other things being in that space. Like, there's so many things that have to happen, even if it visually seems like it would be rather simple. But I was definitely seeing folks saying like, oh, you can't just change a line of code in the thing and make something happen. And there's lots of times where you just can't. It depends on how you've designed something, but depending on, say, like how you've built your game, changing resolutions should literally probably be changing a few lines of code or given the options to switch between a few different versions of something, because you're just setting very simple parameters. But, you know, getting something to run in sync across multiple screens, totally different set of features and requirements and developments. So, again, something that may be seeming simple definitely isn't, or you could probably make it simple, but I would argue it inherently isn't. I definitely see lots of things where it's like, can you like, here's an example, right? It's not something we would do or whatever, but could you set this exact button to give me 100 gigabytes of space to upload nothing but cat videos? Yeah, easy. That could be done in probably 5 minutes. Like, it would have to be pushed out, and that can take a different amount of time, but the actual making the change, no time at all. Easy, easy, easy. Can you make these two systems share basic text easily between each other? Months of work. There's just reproduces all over the place. Which actually, when I started doing stuff like that, really confused me. It still does to this day. There's a lot of reasons for it. The major one is like the competing standards paradox, I guess we'll call it, where, you know, there's again another there's always an XKCD for it, isn't it? That's the meme joke, but there really is. The competing standard thing is you can have 14 competing standards. You would take a cable, you could take a part, you could take whatever, the way a door handle works. And then a new competitor comes along. They're like, oh, okay, all 14 of these are confusing. No one knows the right thing to buy. Sometimes one gets picked up and then another does, and then you don't know which one you need, and it's confusing. So we're going to create a new option, and we're going to solve this problem. And then you flash forward a few months, and now there are 15 competing standards. And it's very, very hard to become the one and only victor in a lot of different fields, especially when it comes to technology. And that happens with software integrations. This person uses potato, this person uses potato, and the whole server costs a few months of time and hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's just the process. It's good times. It's, you know, today too, I was just reading about what I think is called Devon, and it's an AI software engineer, and it at this point in time is only having like a 13% success rate when it comes to handling open real world concerns, but it's a massive improvement of what came before it. And what came before it wasn't released very long ago. These are all very, very quick developments. I don't know where that's gonna go. I think I saw something that was kind of funny where the software engineers need to automate everything is finally forming this like full Ouroboros of automating themselves out of jobs, which is kind of the case because it's like software engineers creating this AI software engineer. It's going to be interesting because I think, you know, if it was a purely technological play, things might go a different way, but we have real world conditions to consider. So there are unions and some very like ethical organizations, but there are tons of non-ethical organizations who are just going to like dump their workforces the second they can replace them. There's a reason so many people are paid the minimum wage, which is largely something that we as a society should be ashamed of. Anyone getting the minimum anything, unless it's like trauma or toothaches. Alas, we have to fight this Quiripecco. No time for diatribes. But geez, everything does go so quick with the high rank weapon. Or I guess it's like low, high rank, late, low rank, whatever. It doesn't matter. It deals 700 damage. I guess I temporarily became Forrest Gump there. I didn't even decide to do that. You know when your tongue just takes over and it's like, I'm gonna do something weird. That's, it just happens. I've had some very kind of like public facing flubs because for a few years there, relatively recently, I did phone support, like in the IT world, and handled a lot of incoming requests, but talking a lot, like I mentioned before, movie of an alright book. I'm not a great like live speaker. I can do improvised comedy, but that is not what you should do when you are acting as a support agent. And my attempts to do so have failed me horribly. So I learned early, don't do that. But it, as a result, made me very static. It worked for some clients, and then others, I don't know, found me cold or too direct. And I was down to chat. Like, there's every now and then someone would be like, oh, sorry, you know, can you repeat what you just said? I need to pet my dog, or my dog needed something. And I'd be like, oh, okay, what's your dog like? And then we would chat about their dog, and I'd be like, great, I'm getting paid to chat about dogs, A+. But that doesn't always happen. So doing that, I definitely had a lot of fun times with voices and accents accidentally popping up. And then because you're in a very white collar situation, you end up in this like satire where no one's talking about the really weird thing that happened. For somebody like me who really is aware of situations like that, I feel like this rebellious desire in all circumstances to point out elephants in the room. Like, I just want to do it impulsively and casually and constantly. I hate when people are just sitting there and they're not talking about this really, really weird thing. But obviously, I want to continue to be paid and wanted to be. So I wouldn't point these things out. And it was just like, thank God there's a mute button so you can just laugh at the absurdity of something. Oh well. I generally find everyone being very serious, like a little bit humorous to me, because it's just, I don't know. Most people, you know, nobody is perfect. Nobody is waking up without sweats and then going on their day. No need to shower, no need to work out, no need to practice, no need to work on themselves. They never make any mistakes. Like, it's just not reality. So for everybody to go to work and then try and be like, oh yes, I'm perfect, lovely, professional, do. I always say the right words and I always talk about the good things, and it's just like this silly farce. And some people take it really seriously, which to me is extra funny. And, you know, I've had to overcome that over the years, because some people really love, like, for example, taking their job super seriously. I don't think you shouldn't work hard or anything like that. But when you take it too seriously, like, my brain just converts it all to like business. And it's like, okay, like, calm down. Even though, you know, obviously the world needs super serious business people. Or does it? Like, I can't even get through that sentence without questioning myself. Does it really? We probably don't. There's probably a better way. Business people were kind of just like a stepping stone towards the society that we should be. Especially like sales. Like, sales is, it's such a dominating thing, and it becomes like a personality type. Like, I go out walking the dog all the time, and like, I love walking by the river because it's really pretty and it's easier to walk the dog. There's less like traffic lights and stuff like that. Well, there'll be people jogging by you, and jogging's great, good exercise. I'm, you know, glad for them. But every now and then, you'll see a group of guys, and you'll look at them, and they're very like similar polo shirts and shorts and the same haircut, and you're like, those guys are all in sales. And even before you get close enough to confirm it, you know it. And then they'll be walking by you, and you'll catch a glimmer of, oh, and this is the strongest force in the economy. And you're like, yeah, I knew they were salespeople. I could tell before they even passed by. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying salespeople are a type, and it crosses all borders, and you can identify a salesperson regardless of any human camouflage, shape, size, color they may be wearing. You can tell. And that's just funny to me. But also, like, other than maybe, oh, the salesperson was out jogging and happened to find somebody who was in danger, what good are salespeople doing? You know? I'm sure some of them volunteer, and they can keep doing that. Why do they have to sell us sales plans and subscriptions and random furniture where the website isn't listing the price, so we had to call and talk to some person who's going to make us feel poor? Like, it's just, it's not my favored profession. Maybe it's yours. Maybe it's this royal Ludroth that we're now fighting. That is not where the apostrophe in that sentence went, and I'm keeping it there. Yeah, just there since this guy dropped like a thing that was worth like 1,000. If I can get another one of those, why not, right? Didn't take too long, the first one, and this is what we're doing. Very just whatever's in the fridge episode of Monster Hunter. I would say this is a regular for me, but it's really not. At this point, this is I think exactly this video will be my 250th video on this channel, and throughout most of them I'm just talking about random political crap or my grievances with various industries. Like I've always kind of been like that, and I think it's the nature of any passionate artist, is whatever they're passionate about just kind of leaks into everything. Though when it comes to YouTube specifically, one of my only regrets is not keeping around my very original Let's Play channel from when I was like 13 or 14, and it was not good content. I think I did 2 games. I did Super Mario 64 because I'm very original. And then I did Conker's Bad Fur Day because censorship on the internet didn't exist. So I could play whatever I wanted, and there was no, is this content made for kids to worry about. So Conker's Bad Fur Day is a very, very mature game for anyone who doesn't know, but it came out on the N64. So it's just this like very crass, violent, and sexual game that is on a console full of very cute, mascot-y, positive, flowery like experiences. So I did that. But my recording setup, I don't even know how I got video, right? Because like OBS didn't exist back then. Maybe you could get Fraps going. If anyone remembers Fraps, like congratulations on your back pain. But Fraps was not a great screen recorder compared to what we have nowadays. But back then it was like one of only a few decent options outside of buying dedicated hardware. You needed like capture cards, and you needed to like actually install these things into your computer so that you could have what you needed to record properly. So if you didn't have that, there were some software options that you could use, and that's what I did. In the N64 emulator that I was using at the time, there was a record video option, and I used it directly from that. But you may be thinking, don't you talk over a Let's Play? Yes, you do. So I took a picture camera, think of like a Nikon whatever, some old silver little thing with a little zoom out lens when you turn it on. Tiny little digital camera. And I turned that into the video mode, set it up by my face so that I could record myself talking on the camera, record the game on my computer, manually take the audio out of the recorded video, and then sync it up to like a clap or something. Like, one of the things I would do is loudly enough for the camera to pick it up. At the same time, I would like jump and smack the table so I knew like this is my sync point, put the video and the audio together. And then on an old laptop that did not have a dedicated GPU or anything like that, render out this video in Windows Movie Maker. It's a thing of beauty. It really is. And I would have liked to keep that account just for the historical element of it, like the personal preservation. Listen to my old dumb self struggle. Nowadays it's so much easier, and OBS is just like fantastic. I can't remember what I talked about too much back then. I was probably just trying to be quiet, if I'm being honest. I guess I can make this, but I don't really want to make that. Alright, well, those two together is 815. So that's pretty solid. And I could probably get more points from the stuff that I got from those creatures, like generate resources based on them, which is ideal. Like, we can get through the earlier chunks of high rank without needing to have too many mega potions, but persisting beyond and getting to like the greatest portions of it, you really want to have, especially solo hunting, as much healing as you possibly can, because it just gets risky otherwise. And sometimes things like this game is a little bit more fair. For some of the old ones, you'll get hip checked with a hitbox. It's nowhere near you, and 85% of your health is gone. I'm kind of like feeling like cleaning up the, like, what are these called? Raptors? I was gonna call them jaguars. I don't know what my brain is doing. It's been a long day. I thought it was gonna be an easy day, but there was some well, I guess you could call breaking changes to my work week. So now I had to rework how I was going to do things and what I was going to do, and I'm just like really good at change that I don't have any control over. I'm a big fan. So it went really well. And I'm very pleased. Oh, hey, look, the thing I'm looking for. I think like a secondary benefit of fighting these things here is I'm pretty sure it'll add them to the night of the Mogul Woods, so that it's easier to like get the high rank hunt version. Maybe that's how that works. I don't know. Maybe some monsters are forever low rank, some are high rank forever. Like, this guy is still not going to be the biggest kid on the block purely because he's not a super strong monster. Okay. Yeah, no, this isn't going pretty well. If timing permits, I'll try and clean up a few of these quests before the end of the episode. But I don't know. I'll check my timeline in a second. Oh man, the loading screen. You know what? I will heal really quick. Yeah, unless this finishes up very quickly, it might not be oh, maybe. We'll see. I like the idea of Raytheon armor, and I kind of feel bad because Raytheon always kind of gets like blown out of proportion by things that come out around the same time you can fight it. So would it be cool to get Raytheon gear? Yeah. Would it be cooler to get pink Raytheon gear? Would it be cooler to get Rathlos gear? I guess if we have pink Raytheon, then we're probably going to get blue Rathlos or Azure Rathlos. I've worn that gear before and it's pretty solid. I'll have to look at the defenses. Oh, come on. Ah, well, he's going somewhere. You know, why not quickly mine? You never know what you're gonna get. Balmstone piece. I literally don't know what that is. Okay, so he crawled through a hole in the wall. Does that mean he went, I don't know. I'll check the cave, maybe? No, doesn't look like that's it. Maybe it's the area after this one. He's probably like sleeping, so it doesn't matter to me if I take a second. Sleeping like my cute little dog. Looks very adorable. Okay, well, clearly all of my guesses about where it would be have been wrong. That's cool. And it's funny too, because I like remember like at the start of this fight, I was thinking to myself, oh, I don't need to paintball it. Where's it going to go? Now I'm pretty egg on my face, I guess is the phrase. Oh, hey, it's behind me. Were you looking for me, buddy? I was looking for you. Yeah, literally 3 hits left on it. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, if that's the case and I paintball the next one, I'm sure I can go and snag another quick hunt. Thinking the Roggy is probably not a bad option. I mean, I'll take all the armor stones anyways, so doing all these things isn't too bad. That's kind of cool. Night Talisman, some slots on it. Heck yeah. Like, wind resistance isn't amazing unless we have to go up against Kushala Daora, which I think we might. I don't know. But still, that's a sweet amulet. And also, I don't really think I am wearing one, so let's go through my massive assortment of amulets really quickly, Because I've just been like straight up ignoring that segment of the game. Okay. We'll sort this all out. So my nicest... Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, stun... Okay, it's not what I was thinking. Never mind. Wind resistance with 2 slots is pretty nice. So I'll throw that on. Yeah. Cool. No, I don't have any decorations to set. And if I okay, let's see. Am I correct in believing that we okay, damn, I didn't realize that was the case. I have a demonic blessing, so that's probably not great. But I have destroyer, I have earplugs, and I have water attack. Interesting. So I could double up. Or actually put some stuff into hearing, and I could pretty effectively get high grade earplugs. Ooh. Do I have... Oh god, okay. Yeah, tell me the name. I don't need to know the skill. Earplugs, where are you? Why am I blind? Ah, okay. Whatever, I should have actually went by the other thing. So if I got some Lagombi ears, I could make Jewel level 1. But it would be cool to get maybe the high rank version of that, so we'll see. Oh well. Let's go to the final hunt of this session. Okay. Yeah, I think it's that's gonna be this one. Let's go hunt this great Roggy. Really quickly, do I need any potions or anything? A single herb. Okay. So now we'll just hunt down the great Roggy. And we absolutely won't get distracted. Why do I not recall going this way? What a thing. Yeah, I think the Great Roggy is going to be more this direction. Now, there was like a random danger sign on this mission, but I'm sure it's fine. Although it's a little odd, I can't find the Great Roggy anywhere. Should have brought a Psycho Serum. Oh well. We'll run into him eventually. Although you might need to find me, I'll fall asleep. Oh. I process frustration usually, sometimes. Usually sometimes. I definitely get mentally tired. I just don't feel like doing nothing. Sleeping, eating chips. The usual. Although instead of chips, I went for Korean food today. Because I've really been, the past little while, kind of been getting into tteokbokki, I believe. They're like a rice cake in a sauce. It's the most mundane way of putting it, but very, very tasty. And the one I've been having is like a bulgogi cream one. And it's just like it's like a happy thing. It's kind of like somewhere between scratching the itch for a soup and scratching the itch for like a big bowl of something that isn't soup, like a rice bowl or something. It's the mix between a soup and a rice bowl. At least for what it satisfies internally in my cravings. Maybe everyone has this, maybe not. I have like an encyclopedia of cravings, just very specific references, and I'm just like a incredibly introspective sommelier. He's like, a slight lingering of remorse with a need for salt. Yes, that is this specific item. And all of those cravings are understood, but can't always be elaborated on. Like the way that the sun was hitting me earlier, and the way that the smell in the air kind of hit me. It reminded me of the first time I ever fought a Velociraptor in Monster Hunter Freedom 1. But there's nothing about that moment, at least in the one I was remembering it from, that had to do with Monster Hunter or Velociraptors. And yet, you know, it's just how the brain works. So I imagine people have that type of thing, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's like earlier. They don't even have the craving in their brain to go yes or no on. Man, I would love if a day came where I could actually focus on more regularly doing Let's Plays, because I do find it relaxing. It's kind of a nice way to have little projects accomplished and explore something that you like or are passionate about. Oh look, there's a Raytheon. That's not that dangerous. But right now, you know, obviously full-time job, that's not a thing. I hope for the day where, you know, like universal basic income comes along and folks can just spend their day doing what they find relaxing or rewarding, or maybe just makes their brain feel okay. That's would be a way more worthwhile thing to spend time on, in my opinion. And in that case, I would love to be going back to playing 2 games at the same time. But right now it's just not realistic. Too many projects and too much work, and editing and remembering what's going on with two different things that you're working on is kind of a lot. You don't want to like repeat the conversation that you had in one video in another because you did them back to back. You know, in the same series, it's kind of like continuing a thought between two different projects. It's just like not breaking things up enough. But yeah, it's very important to just like not bother when monsters pop up in your fights. Largely, if you just focus on the thing that you're hunting and you do enough damage, you can make it leave the area where the other thing is. It is possible if you're really worried about it or you don't like juggling things that are aggroed onto you, you can make dung bombs and you throw them and it'll make a monster flee. At least that's what I've heard. I haven't had a terrible amount of success with it myself, but I also haven't spent a lot of time trying. I want to go that way. Bro, where are you going? It's so much work to just go to the next area anyways. He's done this twice. Why use transition? You can just walk to the area, but whatever. Not my problem, man. Nice. And there we go. One more high rank quest completed. Very much eating the small chips first, so this wasn't too challenging. But all the while, all the same, all the blah blah blah. Good to get done for money and armor spheres. Here we go. Yep, the tired is getting to me, but I've been walking a lot lately, so there's probably a reason for that. Plus, my neck of the woods is just like dumb daylight savings time stuff. So you like randomly lose an hour for some reason. And it's the worst. Especially when you're like me and you tend to stay up late anyways. Like I was awake as the time changed over, so I thought like suddenly it was 3 a.m. at the time. Not exactly my favorite. I did see that some of the stuff for that reward was things I needed for the village quest, so that's awesome. Hey, you've seen that thing that we just fought in the woods? Great, man. Yeah, interesting. Okay, as a mask that I don't really care too much to make. Either way, thanks for watching some Monster Hunter. We'll check out some more next time around. Have a good one. Bye.